Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. My name is Jen. I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach. And today I'm going to answer the burning question. The question I get all the time is, aren't natural flavors natural? And why should I not, or why should I eat natural flavor? So today I'm going to answer the burning question. We're going to talk about exactly what natural flavors are. Are they really natural? Is it something you should be consuming? We're gonna dive deep into what are natural flavors. So if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would help me grow and subscribe. Turn on the bell so you're notified whenever new videos are uploaded. I do have a second channel that I have had for the last couple of years. That is WW Healthy Lifestyle Weight Watchers Focus, but I'd love for you to head over and subscribe to that channel as well. It's always great to get some additional information from other sources. So I'd love for you to join me on my YouTube community over there. If you love these tips and tricks videos, give this one a big thumbs up and make sure you're checking out the description box down below for my nutrition coaching website. I'd love to help you reach your healthy lifestyle goals, as well as discount codes and links to my favorite things. Tons of information down in that description box. So without further ado, let's talk natural flavors. So you may have seen the term natural flavors on an ingredients list and thought to yourself, great, this product is made from a natural source. But you may be mistaken when we see the word natural flavors on an ingredient label. Doesn't actually mean that it's natural. Kind of. It may come from a natural source, but it doesn't mean that the flavor that you're consuming is entirely natural. The reason natural flavors are added to products from food manufacturers is to enhance their taste. And again, it's kind of a marketing ploy where they'll put the word natural flavors on the nutrition label so you feel a little bit better about eating their product. It's less likely that you would consume a product that has artificial flavoring versus natural flavoring if you're someone that concerns yourself with ingredient labels. So food manufacturers and marketers are extremely smart when it comes to how they label products on the actual food ingredient label. It can be very confusing and very misleading, and that is why this is a question I get literally every day, is what's the difference between natural and artificial flavors, and what do you mean natural flavors aren't natural? So we're gonna first talk about what does natural flavoring mean. So according to the FDA, they define natural flavors as substances extracted from plants and animals. Some examples of natural flavors are spices, fruit or fruit juice, vegetables or vegetable juice, edible yeast, herbs, bark, buds, root leaves or plant materials, dairy products including fermented products, meat, poultry, or seafood, and eggs. So these natural flavors are extracted from these plants and animals to enhance the flavor of the foods that we're eating. And generally, this is done in processed foods. You're going to see a lot of processed foods or flavored foods contain natural flavors. This is how they're getting that flavor in it to make it taste good and making us feel a little bit better about buying it because it says natural flavors on the label. They are solely meant to enhance the flavor of the food that we're eating, and they provide no nutritional benefit. So let's talk about, what does natural even mean? Again, when we see the word natural flavors on a product, it tends to make us happy. It tends to make us feel comfortable in purchasing that product. However, the FDA, it makes it so broad that natural flavors can be defined as a term that can describe pretty much any food product. So in the case of natural flavors, it has to come from a natural product like a plant or an animal. And an artificial flavor always comes from a man-made chemical in a laboratory. So that's really the big difference between natural and artificial flavors. Natural flavors derive and start by something natural. Doesn't mean they stay that way. And artificial flavors start and are derived from man-made materials and in a laboratory. In fact, anything flavored contains chemicals, whether it's natural flavored, artificial flavored, even water. Even flavored water contains chemicals. So natural flavors are complex mixtures created by scientists that are actually called flavorists. So these are the people that create the natural flavor that you see on your food label. So these flavorists, again, take the natural occurring products from plants or animals and they make them into something that tastes good, that looks good, that's appealing, and that makes our food taste the way that we want our food to be. So they come from a natural source, but they don't necessarily stay natural. And that's what these flavorists do, is they take these naturally occurring food products and make them basically artificial food products. So anytime you see the word natural flavors on a food label, just be mindful that yes, they may have derived from something natural, but they aren't entirely 100% natural any longer. They are still produced by flavorists. They're still made to make our food look and taste good. So just be careful when purchasing products just because they have natural flavors on the label. So the next question is, should you consume natural flavors? This is something that you should try to avoid. So the bottom line is natural flavors aren't that much different than artificial flavors in terms of chemical composition and health effects. Basically, they're pretty similar. So from a health and safety and a nutritionist and weight loss coach standpoint, it's much better to avoid artificial flavors as well as natural flavors because they are essentially artificial flavors, and really focus on whole, real food to get the majority of your calories, your fats, your carbs, and your protein. So food manufacturers are only actually required to list ingredients on the label. They don't have to specify or designate where they derived those ingredients from. And that's another thing that can make the natural versus artificial flavors confusing. If you really want to know exactly what those natural flavors are in the foods that you're consuming, you can always reach out to the food manufacturer themselves. They do have that information on hand. They should be able to tell you what chemicals are used in the process and are part of the natural flavors. So if you are concerned, you should be able to reach out to the food manufacturer directly and get that information. So in addition to natural flavors coming from an original flavor source like a plant or animal, they can actually contain more than 100 different chemicals, including preservatives, solvents, and other substances. These are defined as incidental additives. So they're not things that the food manufacturers have to put on the label. They can still call them natural flavors, even though they're chemicals, preservatives, and solvents. It's a little bit scary, a lot of it scary. Food manufacturers are also not required to let us know where these additives come from, whether they are from a natural source or a synthetic source. Food manufacturers don't have to give us that information. As long as the original flavoring came from a plant or animal, it is called natural flavor. So that is where the real truth comes to the surface. Yes, it came from a natural source, but it has been so heavily processed in a lab by a flavorist. Chemicals, additives, preservatives, solvents have been added to what was once natural, now making it artificial. But they can still call it natural flavor because it's derived from something natural. I really wish that the FDA would buckle down on this and not allow food manufacturers to essentially lie to us on the nutrition and ingredient label by calling it natural, when honestly, it's nowhere near natural. Like we said, it is very similar to artificial ingredients. What's even more concerning is just because something says natural, the word natural really doesn't have a definition when it comes to food manufacturing. You can even include genetically modified crops, GMO, and still call it natural flavor on the label. So what are some of the ingredients that are classified by these flavorists as natural flavors? By the way, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these ingredients. Again, these flavorists will often combine natural and artificial flavors to create the taste that we're looking for in our food. So here are a few natural flavors that are commonly found in food and beverages. What I'm going to do, because I'm probably not going to pronounce a lot of these right, is I'm going to put them right here on the screen, and then I'm going to define what that is for you. So this compound can be distilled from real bananas to create banana taste in products. Most commonly, you're going to find this in things like baked goods like banana bread and banana muffins. This is extracted from lemongrass, lemons, oranges, and pimentos. It is used as the citrus flavoring in foods and beverages. This chemical is extracted from almonds and cinnamon oil. It is frequently used to give foods an almond flavor. This is somewhat of a surprising and unsettling natural source. This slightly sweet substance is found in the anal excrement of beavers. I know. TMI. It's sometimes used as the substitute for vanilla because, as we know, vanilla bean is extremely pricey. This is also only sometimes used due to its price point as well, but yikes. This is another term for honey flavor. This is another term for coconut flavor and this is another term for butter flavor. So they can use these chemically made ingredients and call them natural because they derived from a natural source. So you're probably wondering, should I be choosing natural flavors at least over artificial flavors? Is that a better choice? It may sound better to choose natural flavors over artificial flavors, but the reality is chemically these are extremely similar. There isn't much difference between natural flavors and artificial flavors. And the really scary part is sometimes artificial flavors contain less chemicals than natural flavors. And in fact, some scientists have argued that artificial flavors are actually safer than natural flavors because they're produced in a chemical lab that's strictly scrutinized and monitored. Artificial flavors are less costly to manufacture, so that makes our favorite food manufacturers want to put those in their products instead of natural flavors. They're just less expensive, thus saving them money. And if you are vegan or vegetarian, you could unknowingly be ingesting animal products when you see natural flavors on the label, because remember, natural flavors can be derived from animals. So the bottom line is overall natural flavors are not any healthier for you than artificial flavors. So what should you do? Should you be buying the products that have natural flavors on the ingredient label? So everything in moderation. It is extremely hard to avoid natural flavors altogether because, as you know, in anything flavored, from coffee creamers to soups to fruits and vegetables canned, it can have natural flavors. There is natural flavors in most foods, so it's really, really hard to overall avoid. However, if you spend most of your calories every day or your focus on food, on whole, real food, you're naturally going to avoid natural flavors. No pun intended. I would limit the amount of natural and artificial flavors that you're consuming, and you can do this very easily by, again, cutting out a lot of processed foods and focusing on real whole food. I don't think that in moderation, consuming natural or artificial flavors is detrimental to your health unless you have an underlying health condition. I would, however, ask your physician or your doctor if consuming natural and artificial flavors would be a detriment to you and your body. Every body is different. Some people can consume them their whole life with no issues, and other people could have issues that result from natural and artificial flavors. So in a nutshell, natural flavors are artificial flavors, just with a fancier, less scary name on the ingredient label. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope I answered the burning question of, are natural flavors actually natural? And what do you mean when you say natural flavors, aka artificial flavors? Again, in the comments, leave any questions that you have when it comes to natural flavors. And again, no food is bad or good. So in moderation, in maybe your favorite foods, it's okay to consume these items. Just again, make sure that the majority of your diet is focused on whole, real food, and you'll just naturally avoid these natural flavors. So thank you guys again so much for hanging out with me. Make sure you're subscribed and you check out my nutrition coaching website down below, discount codes and my favorite things. And if you enjoyed today's video, I'm really trying to grow my channel. So not only subscribe, but give this one a big thumbs up. And speaking of channels, head over and check me out on jennswwjourney. Journey. Thank you guys again so much for watching today's video. And of course, I'll see you next time.